like the old intro music from last season better, but I'll take it. Let's go ahead and kick it off. I'm Rich from Formula One Fans of America. This is season 2, episode 4. We'll go ahead and jump into We Were Right, We Were Wrong, because it's going to kick us right into our main topic and probably the most newsworthy topic of this season. May continue to be, but we were right. We called it last year. Like, Yuki needed to be in that second seat, and we were questioning and highlighting all the reasons why he wasn't. But definitely he had earned it over Checo. So he got it. We will see how long. We've discussed sort of the fickle nature. Greg was wrong last week so it's our first We Were Wrong of the season. Greg was saying that there was no way that Yuki will ever end up in that seat, and was immediately proven wrong, I think, within 72 hours. But Jay was right and has been making the case for Yuki since we started the show, actually, and since we had the very first show before this, like our even test episodes, we were talking about Yuki Tsunoda because he's your favorite driver, and
love that bomb
definitely deserving of the RB2 seat. Again, like I'm saying, we'll see how long this lasts, but go ahead and kick off with you. What do you think about Yuki getting the seat finally?
Oh, I fucking love it, because there's 2 reasons for this, and both of them I love. I'm right on last season saying Yuki deserved it, and I'm also halfway right already with fucking my prediction of the year, because I count this as Lawson basically gone. He got removed from the main team that he was on, and I said 2 rookies will be gone before the end of the season. And I think, did I change that to the summer break? I want to say I changed it to summer break.
I'd have to go back and check, but I believe you. Yeah.
But regardless, like, I'm already halfway there, and it's 2 weeks into the fucking season. Let's go. I mean, realistically here, and then all I need now is Yuki to hit the podium, and I've got the hat trick. See, all y'all saying conspiracy. Let's go.
But no. So I backed you on that. I was like, that's not so much a conspiracy, it's just like it's sound logic and in analysis. Like he's definitely deserving. There was a bunch of garbage reasons for him to not be in the seat. And thankfully, like, his performance has overwhelmed it and made it impossible for him to not be.
So
yeah.
Now that I've gotten off my high horse for a couple of minutes, I'll actually give my reasoning here. So Yuki has come probably farther than any other driver in the past 3 years, give or take, because he went from being this explosive person who just literally learned English from mechanics, which we all know is never a good plan. But he went from being this explosive little dude who would wreck the car more often than finish a race to arguably one of the better drivers on the grid. I would put him in the top 6 easily. I think that's justifiable and fair, because I remember Russell at Williams, and I also remember him in Mercedes as well. So Spaz King needs to go somewhere. Lando, outside of driving the rocket ship McLaren right now, he's never really done anything. But no, my top 6 would be Max, Lewis. Ugh, that feels so dirty saying that, by the way. Really fucking feels dirty. Kimi Antonelli, which, Jesus fucking kill me. Oscar, of course. Leclerc. And I think Yuki's number 6. Like, realistically, I think that is arguably... No, I said Max first.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah, I said Max, Lewis. Yeah. Antonelli.
So Yuki over Lando then, because there's the odd man out. Okay.
Lando's been nothing but a fucking spaz who can't handle turn 1 normally. He's handled turn 1 twice now in his career. Congratulations. But realistically, if what
Second
happened
place in the points.
What's that?
Wasn't he second place in the points for the drivers?
Rocket ship last year.
When you
Just
say
like
like
Max's
what does he
2023
do?
season, I can't really count that shit because that car was a fucking monster.
I'm not going to argue that he doesn't have his deficiencies. We've both highlighted them.
But what I'm saying is that
psychological biggest thing.
I don't think he belongs in the top 6. I think Leclerc's a better driver who's had to put up with the Ferrari clown show. Lewis is fucking Lewis. I can't take anything away from him as much as I don't like him as a driver. I can't take anything away from what he's done. Max is a given. Antonelli, I think, is going to be a mix of Lewis and Max. I really think he's going to be probably one of the more well-balanced. And then Oscar. I mean, I can't say enough about Oscar. Like, we've all talked about it. I can't stand McLaren, but Oscar's a fucking crazy man. So, yeah, Yuki's right where he belongs at this point.
Good stuff. Meg, what are your thoughts on this? Because I have another point that I want to make about it. You're muted.
You're still muted somehow. There you go. Maybe? No.
Okay, hold on now.
There.
Now. All right. So 6:40 time hack.
Okay. So do you want it about like just Yuki and Red Bull or his whole spiel about the top 6 drivers?
I mean, your thoughts on like the Lawson and Yuki thing? Because that's like just the broad topic.
I think it's going to be interesting because I feel like the last few drivers that they've had in that Red Bull seat have been towards the tail end of their abilities in the season, like in their careers. And don't make a face. I'm talking about
what you mean, considering there was 3 rookies in Checo.
Wait, when?
Albon, Gasly, Checo, and Liam.
I'm talking about like Ricardo.
Ricardo was still in his prime. He was 28 whenever he left Red Bull.
But wasn't 27? He coming down off it?
That was just Max showing him how it was done.
Oh, good point.
And the Renault engine is blowing up every chance they got.
But like with Checo, I feel like he's was on the tail end of his career, is doing okay, and then really porked the pooch and just fucked it up. Lawson hadn't come into, I guess, being like, he's a rookie and they literally put him in the Red Bull seat, which is the hardest seat to be in because the car is tailored to Max. I'm wondering with Yuki, who is such a powerful and consistent driver, I'm wondering if within this season, are we really going to see if the car's the problem or if the driver's the problem? And I'm interested to see, because Yuki does have a very aggressive like driving style as well. So I'm wondering if he's going to be able, like, I think he actually would be the one to handle the Red Bull car and kind of break the second seat curse.
Yeah, I would think like with some of these other drivers, we touched on this last year and how guys like Albon and Gasly got sort of a second chance. And I think it was when we were talking about our national embarrassment, Logan Sargent, and like he'll never get a second chance at F1. I think Lawson is kind of the same way. And so that's sort of my second point. Do you guys see Lawson do you see him being able to come back into Formula One again, or do you think it's going to be one and done for him?
So I think it's going to depend on how he handles the demotion all around. If he keeps acting spastic, like, he's going to be gone. He only has this year to prove himself. Now, I think part of it was the car. I think part of it was his attitude towards the car in general, because his driving style is very much more of a rear style of driving. So where that Red Bull doesn't have a rear end to save its fucking life, that's where he's going to get faulted. Now, I think a team, no matter what happens, no matter what happened during his stint in Red Bull, is going to look at him and be like, you know what? He's still worth that shot because he's not causing tremendous amounts of damage. He's not like just being a complete asshole about everything and like screaming at, Ocon or whoever, does whatever. Like, he's staying under the radar right now. I think a team like Cadillac or if they bring in another team would actually take a risk on him. I think another big thing is where this driver's market goes in 26 and 27, because you've got to figure you've got Lewis, who is going to probably retire in 27. Like, realistically, I don't think he can push any further than that. That opens up a Ferrari seat. Now, that Ferrari seat will probably go back to Sainz because they didn't want to get rid of him to begin with, other than the fact that they needed a spot for Lewis, which we'll see in the long run if that makes sense. But you're going to have Hulkenberg is going to have to retire before too long. He's not got much left in the tank. So there's an Audi seat opening up. Alpine's going to have Colapinto going into it probably within the next year, if not sooner, which I still think it's going to be sooner. But you're going to have that aspect. The Red Bull seats, both will probably be open at the end of next year. Like, it's all just going to depend on how the car behaves this year for Max, and then next year how the engine development goes. Because if the engine development shit and they're like, yeah, I'm fucking leaving, that's both Red Bull seats. In 2026, both Mercedes seats are going to be available because neither Russell or Antonelli have a contract past this year. The only seats that are not available, I believe, are McLaren's, but I know both drivers have a performance clause in their contracts. So if either one of them viewed McLaren as not suitable, or the team's not suitable in Oscar's case for not letting him continue on, then you're going to have a controversy there, and one of those two drivers are going to leave. So Haas, I want to say Ocon got what, a 1+1, Rich? I can't remember.
That is correct.
Okay, and then Behrman has a 1+1 as well. So
yep.
That's pretty much every team on the grid other than Racing Bulls, and I don't think either Racing Bull driver has a contract past this year either. So you could see a massive shakeup of the grid. We don't know.
Another silly season.
This awesome. Could be the best one, but will it be? Probably not. So I think somebody will take a risk on him, in all honesty. He's not going to be an Albon where he's sitting there as a reserve driver for 2 or 3 years waiting to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So I still say bring back Italian Jesus, though. Let's go.
Meg, what do you think? Do you think he'll get a second chance? Like, if he's, or this is going to be a one and done season for him?
I don't know. Like, I do agree with Jay. It definitely is going to, like, how he takes the promotion both off the track and on the track. If he continues to completely suck in the Racing Bulls card, I don't think he's going to be. I think he would get knocked down to like reserve and then just be out. Because it's not like he's unlikable also. Like, everything that I see, everyone is like, people hate on, his driving record, but for the most part, everyone just hates his demeanor and his attitude. You can't be a shitty driver and not marketable. So,
I mean, look at Latifi. Latifi was lovable. That's why he stayed around as long as he did.
So, I don't know. I feel like maybe this will be a wake-up call for him to fix one of his two problems. But I don't think he has the self-awareness to actually do it. So I'm going to go with a solid do not know. We'll see.
What was the comment Kavat made on social media? Something about
That was
he
an
should go
act.
spend
That was
time with his
something.
girlfriend.
That was
Talk
AI
about it.
generated. Get the fuck
Oh,
out
it
of
was?
here.
That was some fake shit?
Yes. Like, just like the Yost
Okay.
Verstappen being the only one that can beat Max.
Because
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Probably
not
because
wrong,
no.
though.
Well, physically beat him.
Yeah, I don't mean in racing. I mean just like
oh, anyways, moving along here.
I'll just mute
Now,
myself.
so here's the thing. Like, it's going to be interesting because Lawson is going to have a chip on his shoulder. He's also going to have a chip on his shoulder towards fucking Behrman going around him and being like, "Ciao, bitch." So, yeah, it's going to be real fucking interesting, like really quickly, and I can't wait.
Do you guys think so? Like, the big question here is how long does Yuki stay in the number 2 seat? Like,
I
what do
think
you
they're
guys
gonna.
think?
Oh, sorry.
Do you think that he'll finish the season? Do you think he'll keep it through next year? Like, do you think he's going to fulfill his contract? What are your thoughts?
His contract's only till the end of the season, anyways.
Oh, really?
I
I was not
believe.
aware of that. Okay.
Now you got
So
me
I guess
questioning myself
the
here.
actual question that I should be asking would be: do you think that the
Yeah,
contract
Yuki's
gets renewed and he
2025.
keeps the seat?
Yeah.
So do you guys think he'll keep the seat next year? I guess is what I'm dancing around.
So next year, no clue. I'm not even going to try to predict that until I see him in that RB21, because from everything I'm hearing with simulator data and everything, he is 2/10 behind Max in simulator data, which for just coming into that car is fucking incredible. I definitely think that they're going to keep him there for the rest of the year, just because Honda gave them a fuck ton of money to put him in there. Like, there is rumors going around currently that the original offer was 10 million. Sorry. And Horner came back and said, give us another 10 and we'll put him in for Japan. So I think they'll leave him in there for $20 million, like, realistically. I also think that he learned a lot from DR3 last year in how to give proper technical feedback. And I think that's what Red Bull truly needs, because they said one of Liam's biggest problems is that he couldn't do feedback whatsoever. And that's all fine, well, and good in Super and F2 and everything where you can't give feedback. But in F1, if you can't do it, like, get the fuck out of the seat. You don't deserve it at that point. And I mean, 2 races in a row, Yuki would have been in top 8 in the Racing Bull. But one, his wing exploded, and then the other one, fucking, the rain just came at the wrong time. So, I don't know. I think he'll do fine in the Red Bull. I think he has a very similar style to Max. And if that car is set up for Max like everybody says it is, I think Yuki's going to do just fine. Because DR3 and him shared a similar driving style, and DR3 and Max share a similar driving style. Which is, I think, one of the biggest reasons I pushed for DR3 to go back to Red Bull was because I think he would have fucking tore it up in that car.
I think a lot of people were pushing for that. Like, it made a lot of sense for him too. So it's one of the many reasons why it sucks to see him gone, other than being, you know, a fan favorite and a good marketing asset for Red Bull. But no, definitely agree with you. Like, I think Yuki knows how to give feedback. It would be awesome to see guys like DR3 hang around the paddock and like coach these younger drivers. You know, like, they kind of have these performance coaches or like psychologist type dudes, but it would be cool for them, especially with the rookies and how many there are, to have sort of like an attached driver that's out of the sport now and done with racing, but can really show you the ropes. Like in the NHL, you'll get rookies that live with like an experienced pro, a veteran. And so something like that would be really cool just because it's such a whirlwind of everything for these young kids. And it does go back to like not all these kids, especially if there's two going out this year, like Jay's calling, like they probably won't get a second chance. And that really sucks because guys like Albon got a second chance, Gasly got a second chance coming out of this RBC. Do you guys think that Tsunoda would be done in the sport if he were to leave, or do you think he's got an established reputation enough to where someone else will sign him?
Yuki will get another drive.
Yeah.
Actually, depending on where Max goes, I think is where Yuki goes to the opposite team. So if Max goes to Merc, Yuki goes to Aston Martin. If Max goes to Aston Martin, then Yuki goes to, well, fuck, it all depends on Stroll at that point, but he might go to Aston Martin as well. Like, it's all going to depend on how well those two work together for what happens next with that. But I would say,
yeah, it does all depend on top 10 driver on the grid, Lance Stroll.
Hey, you know what? I ain't knocking Lancey boy this year. Like,
2025 is the year for Lance Stroll
it,
and that rodent-faced guy.
Hey,
I thought you were done hating on him. I thought that you're waving your
he still
little
looks
flag.
He still
looks like a rodent. Yeah, he still looks like a rodent.
And he's still French.
Change that. I'm going to support him. Speaking of supporting Haas, can we talk about that dope-ass livery that they're coming to the Japanese GP with?
I saw that
Cherry Blossom season.
Immediately fucking linked it. I was like, yep, this needs to happen. That is arguably one of the better liveries I've seen in the past couple of years. I think the only one that I could really say would be better would be the Deadpool one from last year for Alpine. Yes, I know you hate that one, Rich, but I don't give a fuck. That livery was clean as fuck. You're literally the only person that disagrees with that. Literally. Okay. But
I like
regardless, I would say never mind. We're not going there today. I would say Red Bull's white livery from Turkey. If the rumors are true, they're bringing that back in some fashion. So I could be down for that one. But yeah, no, the Haas one is going to take the cake for a while, I think.
I like it. Meg, what were your thoughts on the livery for the Cherry Blossoms?
I love it. I think it's fucking awesome. It's definitely going to be my favorite car on the grid for this upcoming race. I think too, because I haven't really seen a livery that I've actually really, really, really enjoyed. Like, I've never really liked any of the ones that McLaren's put out for their special. So I think it's cute.
Other than the jerk off chrome one? What?
I fucking hated it. I hated it.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I love it. It looks like it's just going to have a little cherry blossom pebbles blowing in the wind.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Maybe they'll drive. Maybe
friendship
they'll drive
between
with
Japan
it too.
and the U.S. So that's pretty neat. I like that. And the cherry blossoms are blooming right now, so it's good timing for the Japanese Grand Prix.
And you know what? This is the one time that Pepto-Bismol pink has worked really well for them.
But it's good. It's the American company right now, the only American team on the grid until we get Cadillac in 26. So pretty neat, and also a good, like, nice gesture towards the Japanese fan base over there. So yeah, thanks to you guys, we've got cherry blossoms in the United States. After living in DC, they are very beautiful, and it's short-lived but super nice. Let's see, what else are we going to discuss? So we were talking about Fred Vasseur hints towards potential future disqualifications. Let's discuss. Jay, what do you got for this?
I love Fred. I fucking adore it. Like, he's just like, yeah, fuck you, disqualify us. I don't give a shit. Like, after this disqualification, we know we're not going to win the constructors now. Like, nah, we're good. Let's raise some hell. Let's see how far we can push these regulations now. Like, realistically, that man is amazing. I can't say that I like from a fan standpoint, especially one that cares about safety and everything like that. I can't say that I agree with his stance on this, but I can respect the petty bitch. Like, wholeheartedly, I can respect the petty. I think it's too early in the season to really be saying something like that, because Benny Boy is going to get pissy about it before too long and probably fine like half the grid for it, even though, it's not even a driver. But if this was Abu Dhabi and it was down to the wire, everything like that, I could see saying, fuck the regulations, let's go. But with this, no. Like, it's 2 races into the season, man. You can't be coming out and guns blazing, saying things like this, that, and the other. So that's just my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense to me either. Meg, what are your thoughts?
I kind of feel like it falls in line with Ferrari, though, because Ferrari drivers' greatest enemy is Ferrari themselves. And he's just like, yeah, we're going to push the limit. We get disqualified. We're still figuring out the car. So we're just going to look the hard way to see what we can and cannot do. And, Hamilton and Leclerc hear that and they're just like, fuck. So, it's not that shocking to hear. But I do agree it's that shocking to hear second race in. Because at this point, too, if that's their attitude, then what's the incentive for Hamilton and Leclerc to really push themselves besides the fact that they want to win?
Yeah. Do you think it's like a lead up to 2020 or like the new regulations that are coming down? Or do you think it's just like, yeah, we're going for broke no matter what anyways?
I feel like they're going for broke no matter what anyways, because they're still going to have to figure out the new regulations for the new car next year. So it's going to be almost like back to square one. Why would you fuck yourself over in preparation for a new set of parameters?
Wind tunnel time.
I was just getting ready to go there with that, Rich. Thank you.
Good point.
So this is why I'm wondering if they didn't tell Hamilton, like, hey, try your best and everything, but more than likely, we're going to get fucked up this season. We're doing it on purpose. Mm-hmm. We want that wind tunnel time because we know our engine's going to be good enough to do it. However, we don't know because the aero regulations changed recently, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. I think this is a beautiful segue into my favorite segment of the show, Conspiracy Corner.
Who's all tanking
is Ferrari going to sabotage the season? Are the engineer radio calls deliberately confusing for him and Leclerc? Because they're both just like, what? That makes no sense. Shut the fuck up.
So Lewis just isn't used to it yet, and I think that's part of it. And I think Leclerc is just so fucking beat down and broken from the clown show of Ferrari that he's just like, I fucking hate all of you, die.
Or is this typical Ferrari ineptitude in engineering fails and strategy fails?
Both. I mean,
both could be true. They're like, we can't even fuck you up, right? We're just gonna keep being ourselves and fuck you up unintentionally.
But the cover up is
even love this look.
If we tried,
I think, but the conspiracy is making it look intentional. Like the CIA and like it's the equivalent of the CIA fucking something up, and then just being like, "Now, did we fuck up or did we fuck it up on purpose?"
I got nothing. Like, I really don't. I think
I do think that that's the conspiracy for this week, is that Ferrari is going to tank their season and do it to get additional wind tunnel time for the new regs.
Oh yeah, I think you're going to see quite a few teams, especially after Spain. I still haven't figured out if it's before Spain or after Spain that the wing changes come in. And I think then and there, you're going to see every team evaluate where they're sitting at that point. You're going to start seeing people fighting for last place because they want that much more wind tunnel time. So, but yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Like, Haas will still shit the bed and probably be 7th, but like I think the best of the top 5, I think you're going to see a lot of mix up in there. I wouldn't be surprised if they start pushing Mercedes, like letting George Russell win a couple and everything like that. But that also depends on the Drivers' Championship as well, because if Russell's too far out, then yeah, I could see them totally doing that. But if it's a tight race between him, Lando, and Max, like it currently is, then you have to look at it as, well, shit, we have a chance to bring another Drivers' Championship in. Do we risk this, or what do we do here?
I think Kick Sauber is committed to firmly staying in 10th place. A question mark for the wind tunnel time, and when you talk about the top 5 teams, is Aston Martin to me. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts on, like, do you think Aston tanks at all? Because Newey wants the extra wind tunnel time, and they've got that brand new facility with a brand new wind tunnel, and they want to maximize the use out of it. I'm also curious to see if any other teams would want to borrow their wind tunnel the way they were with, I think it was Mercedes wind tunnel they were using. But yeah, interesting to see what Aston Martin's going to do with both the new regs, the wind tunnel time, where they finish in the season, especially if we're talking about the top 5, because they're always in the conversation there. What are your thoughts about Aston, their moves, and what they're going to do for this year?
So the only team that really could use Aston Martin's facility would be Red Bull. Because of the Honda connection, the Newey connection, everything like that. I think everybody else is going to get told to go fist the cactus. Like, realistically, I don't think it's going to work out well. I know. I've told you I'm sick. Leave me alone. But realistically, I don't think Aston Martin's really going to let anybody else in that wind tunnel, with the exception of Red Bull. And Red Bull would be the only one that would pay for it, considering theirs is older than damn near anything. So Meg, you look really
Meg, how about
confused.
I'm sorry.
How about you, Meg?
I'm still stuck on Fist of Cactus. Not gonna lie.
What are your thoughts on Aston and where they're going to finish this year? Are they going to employ some kind of strategy to either tank, or do you think they're going to keep trying because they want either more money or more wind tunnel time? Because they're the ones that are sort of middle of the pack and it could go either way.
I don't know. I could see them wanting to push for points to just see. I'm trying to, like, English is hard for me right now, not going to lie. But I feel like I could see them pushing for points just to see how bringing on Newey is, like, boosting their ability with the car. And, you know, point out that it's not the driver issue, it's the car issue. Like, if we had the, if we had that engineering behind us, we could be a more competitive team. But then with the new regulations coming out next year, I mean, I could see a lot of teams, with the mentality of out tanking each other for wind tunnel time. So it's really, I mean, I feel like this season's really hard to try and get a strategy on what how the teams are going to perform, because there's incentives to do both. I feel like if it was just a normal year where the regs were going to be around for 2 more years, it would make more sense for everyone to push for points to get more money. But right now it's like, do you want more money or do you want more wind tunnel time? So I feel like right now it's just hard to,
there's the crux.
You can't really point it one way or the other.
I think teams like Haas and Alpine are both going to push for points because they want
that. But that makes sense because they're consistently in the bottom of the pack.
Exactly.
Well, they want the money too.
Yeah, Williams wants the money. They also want to push signs and let him race, and see what he can do with their car because they finally have, a real deal driver. Who I think is, for me, I think Signs is in the top 5, but um you see already what well, actually not truly see what he can do with the Williams because he's not doing very well so far.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, struggling just a touch. But I think, throughout the season, he's going to be pushing that car. He's going to be assisting in the development. I think next year, Williams is going to be performing much better than they are even right now with a better car than they've had for probably, I don't know, 2 decades. I do think Alpine for certain is going to keep pushing for the money and keep pushing for the points because they have a multitude of investors on that team that need to see results. And really, they were saved by one race last year. And that was a $50 million podium by, albeit rodent-faced, Esteban Ocon and his French cohort, Pierre Gasly. So shout out to them. But yeah, that's my prediction. Alpine's shooting for points and money. They need to. Haas also needs to push alongside them for points and money. It's not a team that can rest on laurels, Williams, same thing. Kick Sauber, I think, is just tanked because they realize they literally just don't have it, and they're waiting for that Audi, engineering and transition. So it's like
I think
we're
Kick's
fine
just
being dead
working
last.
on their
Nobody
social media
expects it.
game.
Exactly, which is top notch. They're doing well.
Not since Bottas left.
Oh, okay, that's true. But like
That's what I'm saying. Like they're working on their social media.
He's a gem human being.
Exactly.
I follow his Instagram.
He made their social media, and now they're trying to build it back up because he's gone.
Well, they don't have a car, so it's really all they have at this point.
I know. And then they lost Bottas, so now they don't even really have that.
Which is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. So.
Mercedes' social media, though, is now getting funny again.
Okay.
We
got anything else for Conspiracy Corner?
It's too early for conspiracies, man.
It's true.
You gotta at least give it till Miami for conspiracies.
Limited data points.
Yeah,
but I think we've got one. I think Ferrari's going to tank this year. That's our conspiracy.
I don't know if Lewis and Leclerc will let it, dude. Like,
they're too stubborn.
Yeah,
I think it's just going to be a sad season of us watching them fight their own engineers more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Which was great entertainment whenever Max and GP were doing it, but GP is also a bastard, so I don't think the 2 Italian ones will last as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see, though.
Let's get into predictions for Japan, you guys. So I'll lead off, actually. I've got Oscar taking the win. I've got Lando in second, and then I have Lewis in third. And then I'm going to go George Russell in fourth.
So you just went against your own conspiracy.
I know.
Okay.
But I think Lewis gets a good race out of the Japanese Grand Prix. It's a good track for him. He performs very well. Maybe then if I follow the conspiracy, he qualifies pole and then falls back to seventh. If I were to follow that alternatively. But
who did you have for P3?
P3 was Lewis. And Russell P4. Yeah. Jay, what do you think? Who are you going with for the Japanese Grand Prix?
Oh, let's see here. I need to see something because, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say Oscar just because I want to see him fucking wipe little Lando off the face of the fucking planet. I think Max is still going to take second, dude. Like, realistically, all he has to do, he does not have to win a fucking race, and he can still win the WDC this year. Like, as bad as that sounds, he just has to come in second more times than anyone else. So I think Max takes second. And here comes the bold. Yuki take third in Japan. Fourth is Lando.
Ooh, good call. Home race. So, yeah. I like it. All right, we're going to pause real quick so we can take a break, but we will be right back. All right, we're back from break, and I have relieved myself. Meg, what are your predictions for the Japanese GP?
Nobody needed to know that.
Yeah. Go ahead and time hack that one.
No.
I'm thinking it's going to be Oscar P1. I really think this year is going to be the year that he is going to become McLaren's number one driver, even though they say they don't have one. I think he's going to upset Lando. I think Lando will be P2. And I'm not entirely sure, but God, I'm hoping Yuki gets P3.
All right, I like it. Do you think you're hoping for him to get it, or is he actually going to get it?
I'm hoping, and I think he actually is going to get it. He's coming in. First of all, it's his home race. He's coming in on he's going to be driving for Red Bull, which still is a good car, and he's got a lot to prove because he's had Helmut Marko and Red Bull not wanting to bring him up to the second seat with everybody. Wait.
It wasn't Helmut that didn't want him. That was Christian. Helmut was singing Helmut was singing his praises last year.
Really?
Yep. He wanted Yuki up there, and it was kind of like a final fuck you to Christian Horner that he's like, fine, we're going to try to get him up there. And Horner's like, no, we're not.
I thought I was seeing a whole bunch of shit with Helmut Marko being racist as hell and saying that Yuki was never going to. You're muted.
Drop that mic. Yeah.
Well, I'm half asleep. Oh, well. Anyway, but he's finally in his Red Bull seat. I really think he's going to get a podium. If he takes first, I'll be fucking happy as hell.
Okay. Well, so any other bold predictions for Japan? Like, who's going to crash? Like, what's going to happen with the rookies? Because you know there's going to be some Wookiee drama. Lawson's crashing. Okay, he's just like, fuck it.
How wonderful would it be?
He's going
if
the
he
Logan
crashes
Sargent
on the
route.
formation lap.
Fuck, man. Like, I don't wish ill will on anybody, but
that's not ill will. I don't want him to get hurt. I just want him not to race.
To not do well.
Yeah, ill will is like bodily harm.
I kind of agree with Matt on that. Being petty is petty.
Ill success. So. Like, I would say ill success. Like, I don't.
I wish him minor inconveniences that take him out of the race before it even starts.
He steps on a Lego in his hotel room.
Yeah, there we go. No, because that could probably cause problems for somebody down the road. But as far as the rookies go, I would love to see Lawson like have an engine failure or something. That would make my day.
What do you think
But
Hajar is going to do? Hajar Bortoletto. What do you think they're going to do?
Hajar will probably finish in 11th or 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hold on. It depends if Ferrari gets disqualified again. How amazing would that be, though, if Yuki's in 5th and both Ferraris are in 4th and 3rd and they get disqualified and he takes the podium that way?
That's legit possibility. Yeah.
I would laugh a lot. But
Megan,
regardless,
Hajar Bortoletto, where do you think they're going?
I don't know.
I'm putting them bottom of the grid, like 17th, 18th. Honestly, I don't like the only rookie. I maintain my stance, and I'm going to keep it going throughout the season, no matter how this turns out. Antonelli is the only rookie worth a damn out of all of them.
I agree with that.
So, like,
I think they're gonna-
Antonelli like is the truth, and Mercedes made a very, very good call, promoting him and picking him up. Like, this kid is fucking something special.
The child.
They all of them. I mean, we've got Bear Child, not Bear Man. Bear Child.
hold up. I'm going to disagree with you on that one.
What do you mean?
Behrman's actually a beast, dude. He pulled that fucking shitbox ass up there.
I'm just talking about how old he is.
I understand that, but no, we said
They
the only
also
rookie
both
that was
look like
worth
they
a
weigh
damn.
90 pounds.
You
Yeah,
just said
he's
the
still a
only rookie
child.
that's worth a damn.
Oh yeah,
is
no, you said
Antonelli.
Antonelli's the only rookie worth a damn.
Oh, that's where you're disagreeing. Okay,
Uh-huh.
well, cool. We'll see how the season goes. I disagree
Well, okay,
with
but
you.
hold
I
on.
don't
I
think he's
kind
going
of
to have a
agree.
good
I don't
year,
think-
and
I
I think
don't
it
think
will
he's the
be
only-
more the car than him.
Yeah, I
It
don't
will
think.
be more the car than him.
I don't think that. I feel like if Ollie Behrman was in a different car, he would be consistently up at the points. But he's in a Haas car.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean,
He has
he's
that
already
working
proven it.
against him.
It was my favorite fucking moment of last season was him in a Ferrari calling for the gap to Hamilton, and it was his rookie race in Formula One. And it's like, man, can you imagine calling for the gap in your rookie race to one of the greatest drivers of all time and one of the most successful champions the sport has ever seen? Like, it was like, it had to have been, obviously exponentially magnified for him because he was living it. I know he's a great driver. I just don't think that he's going to be worth a damn because of his car.
Mm.
So they're like both things that we're saying can be true. And I think we're on the same page.
I was just thinking about Behrman. How great would it have been if instead of saying ciao when he was passing Liam Lawson, he kind of like returned the favor that Lawson did to Checo and just give him the finger.
He just
I feel
doesn't
like
want
he's-
mind.
I feel like he's just
He's got more
like,
class. He's got more class.
yeah,
than
he's
that.
too classy for it, but it still would have been beautiful.
True. All right. Well, we've got a lot to look forward to this upcoming weekend. We will be back on Monday, recapping the Japanese Grand Prix, and we will have a little bit more cast members. Unfortunately, we lost Fabian. He had to go attend to a family issue. Greg's working, but we will do probably Monday and Thursday next week since it's a race week. But yeah, look forward to his responses. And once again, you guys drive the show. So thank you for tuning in to Formula One Fans of America. This is season 2, episode 4. Ciao.